Oh, look at what the cat dragged in. Mom, Dad, how are we doing today? Perfect. That's great to hear. So, how's that business doing, buddy? I remember you mentioned that in our last time you visited. Oh, getting lots of traffic. Awesome. Making any sales? No. Well, let me see how I can help you out. So you're selling the smile slides. Man, that is a tongue twister. But that's a great choice. So let's take a look at your... Oh my... Ooh, I mean, I hate to break it to you, but that's one of the ugliest pop-ups I've ever seen in my entire life. And a spinning wheel. I mean, oof, we were off to a rough start, but let's see if we can clean this up. Now, the thing is, kiddo, when you're trying to sell clothing, you gotta have great images. That's the most important thing. You gotta make the product look cool, just like your old doctor here. But when we look at these, I would say, yeah, you got some nice lifestyle images, got some nice stock images. I'd say this one looks a little rough, but overall looks pretty good. In fact, I would say the only thing that you're missing is maybe some faces of people wearing it, just to see the full body shot. And you also don't seem to have a logo here, Slugger. All right, the doctor went on a cigarette break and now Ethan is here. So when I review this website, as I mentioned, I think the photos are one of the most underrated things that people just don't understand, where you have to find the best quality images for the product you're selling. And you can do this through finding a variety of different suppliers on AliExpress, Alibaba. You can look at your competitor stores. You just have to try to gather the best photos that are white background, stock, and also UGC lifestyle, especially when you're trying to sell clothing. Now, on this website, what would I actually change around? I would say Smile Cushion Slides is not the worst name, but I mean, this font here, I think it's really small, doesn't really stand out. When I look at the price, it's the same thing. These things don't really stand out. They're kind of all meh to me. So I would say increase the font of both of these. And then when we get into the color section, I love having variants that have a little circle and then the color variant inside of it, instead of just typing out the color white, black. I mean, it would have been so much better to have the circles. Now, when we get into sizes, I would say this is a little bit too much in my opinion. I would consider doing a drop down menu whenever there's more than 5 options, because this just seems a little bit too much. And again, the size, I'm not a big fan of this typography because it's really easy to miss. I don't think it really stands out. So maybe make it bold, or just have a font that you use throughout the website, because the font here on this black white is totally different than the one on size. Now, when we go down here, the add to cart button is nice and big, which I like. And I would say the only thing I would change around here is maybe the wording, because I like to actually split test instead of add to cart doing buy now, because that's what I want people to do. I don't want them to just add to cart and then not buy. Now, going over here, hurry, only a few left. I think this is a little bit cheesy in my opinion. There's a bit of cheesiness I've noticed overall. Now, payment badges, I've split tested. It's something that's nice to have. I prefer trust badges though, having a money back guarantee trust badge, then a good fast shipping trust badge, something along those lines I think converts a lot better than just typical payment badges. And then another thing, secure checkout PCI compliant. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I have no idea what any of that means with PCI. I mean, I don't think that's ever been something I've considered when I'm shopping online. Maybe you do, but let's actually get into this. So I like having social proof, having the different logos, but is this product right here, Slides, going to be featured on Forbes, Fox? Yeah, I think that's a little bit unrealistic. I would try to find some magazines where it makes more sense. Maybe BuzzFeed is something that would make more sense in my opinion. Now, getting into the actual description, treat yourself and enjoy pillow-like comfort and warmth with every step. Now, I think that's a really good line. Again, though, would consider maybe centering it, making it bigger because it's the headline. And there's a lack of graphics I've noticed on this product page, which I think could have been better used to describe the benefits here. You can have a graphic that has 4 different little icons, and each icon symbolizes one of the benefits of your product. So, hey, if you're mentioning how the material is super soft, maybe you'll have a feather icon and then you mention how soft the material is. If it helps relieve sore feet, maybe we have a little foot icon, something like that, that just condenses the information and makes it much more scannable and readable than just a block of text. Because I'll be honest with you, I don't think people really read descriptions like they do anymore, but they will read graphics. Now, if you ever spend a day busy on your feet, you'll know just how quickly and easily the pain can build up, blah, 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 blah. And I would say typically when I'm buying slides, I kind of know why I'm going to buy them. I'm really just going to buy them because I think they're cool. So I think it would have made more sense if this description was much shorter. Maybe it's 1-2 graphics, maybe 1 major headline, and then maybe 2 to 3 benefits. And that's really all I would say you need. You just need good photos and you need some good graphics to illustrate, yes, the size chart. And I think this looks pretty solid. And then I would have some more social proof. Maybe above here, I would add a review or add some urgency like, hey, this 50% offer is going to end soon. I think in this case, it's about a 60% offer. They also don't have a heading bar that emphasizes any offer or discount code. There's a lot to be desired here. And this brand, I can guarantee guarantee is doing over 6 figures a month. I've seen their ads. They have over 40 million impressions on their main ad. Then we go into the review section. This is where I think they did the best job. They have good pictures, but again, the reviews aren't super detailed. They don't mention the name of the brand. They don't mention that the product works, and they barely mention the benefits. So even on the best dropshipping brands like this one right here that is selling very well, there's still a lot to be desired and split tested. Now, I'd say the number one reason why you get a lot of link clicks but very little add to carts is always going to be your offer is ridiculous. It's nowhere near as valuable as you think it is, because if you're trying to sell, let's say this necklace right here, and you're charging $40 for it, and everywhere else online, your competitors are charging $20, $25. I mean, you really have to do a lot of branding and a lot of work to convince someone that, okay, this is worth $40. But in most cases, you can't do that. So you have to really be reasonable when you're coming up with your offer and understand, do I have the right margin? Because if you try to force margins like this, it never ends up working out. So whenever I price a product and I'm trying to determine if I want to sell it, I always will look up the keywords of it on Google search and on Amazon to get the average price that people sell these types of products for. And if I know that I have the right margin after getting it quoted from my supplier, then I will consider selling it. But the first place always, if you're getting a lot of traffic and low add to carts, is your offer just sucks. If I'm selling this for $40, maybe I'll consider doing a BOGO offer for $40 because that increases the value. You're getting 2 of these for the same price, and maybe my margins aren't too affected by that. I mean, realistically, this should cost maybe $5 max. So maybe after that, instead of a BOGO at $40, maybe I'm going to do a buy one, but you get it at $25. Because I really just don't believe $40 is the best price point. But what most people do with their offer is they set it and forget it. You put one price, you test out that offer, and if it doesn't work, well, then it's the product's fault, or it's the ad's fault, or it's the website's fault. But in most cases, it's just your offer is too ridiculous. You didn't have an irresistible offer where the value of your product outweighed the price that you're charging. So that's where I'd recommend playing around with those different offer structures. You can do BOGO, you can do buy one, get 2 free, you can do buy one, get one 50% off. There's a lot of different things you can do with bundles, or if you're trying to just get them to buy one because the product isn't super bundleable, then yeah, you would do a big discount, 60% off, throwing in a discount code as well. Now with this brand, I think they have a good mix of images actually. They have some lifestyle ones. This looks a bit professional. I would like to see maybe more of a selfie type of phone shot of this because these are all very professional. Again, so that's where I want to have the mix. And then with the title here, this isn't branded whatsoever. So if you don't have a branded product name, people are going to assume that they can find that product literally everywhere, because why would I think you're the only person that sells this product if you have a generic product name? And that's the name of the game in dropshipping. You have to get people to think that you are the only supplier of this product, or you are the main supplier of it. Now getting down to this Christmas sale, get additional 10% discount code. Again, what is with these different fonts? We got a font here that's different, font here on the logo that's different, all these different fonts. It looks so unprofessional in my eyes. I like having urgency and throwing in a discount code, but I don't know, this looks super unprofessional to me. But this is what I'm talking about, where have trust badges. I think this is much more effective than this Smile Cushion Slides where it was just the payment badges. So I think that's really good. But again, way too much text. Is anyone going to read all of this for a necklace? No. What are the major things people are going to care about with a necklace? That, okay, does it look good? Does it make a great gift? And I want to see social proof that so many other people who bought this as a gift were happy. Not the biggest fan of this gift because of the black borders. I don't think that looks super good. I would have just cropped that. But again, too much text where you could have just had a graphic that explains this all. Again, graphics are the way to go. In terms of reviews, only 2 photo reviews is not the greatest. When we actually read though, I really liked how you can clearly see I love you. Okay, that's really detailed. I like that. Perfect for my mom and dad for Christmas. Awesome. Again though, would like to mention the product name and fast shipping. And at the end of the day, the name of the game, if you're getting high link clicks but low add to carts, is always execution. It's never the product's fault, because again, this is one website for this little I love you necklace. And again, there's way too much text, kind of looks cheesy. The reviews aren't super detailed, but then we have this website right here with a great logo, very clear product name. Now, in terms of images, only one image is not great, but the offer is pretty easy to read. We got a nice little add to cart button. Now we got gold and silver. I don't think they necessarily need a drop down menu. Again, that's where you could have just had color variants, little bubbles that were gold and silver. 50% discount, free shipping, secure payment. Not a big fan of those. Again, I'm more on the money back guarantee and then free shipping. But in terms of this headline, win the heart of your loved one all over again with this I love you necklace. Now I would try to keep this into 2 lines, but I think it's a really good copy. Now again, good photos. You want to have definitely photos throughout the description. Now in terms of text, Yeah, again, turn this bullet points into a graphic. It's going to be much more digestible. I like though that they have multiple add to cart buttons. Again though, too much text in a row. I would maybe separate the lines. So I would have skipped right after here, birthdays, anniversaries, Valentine's Day. Here's how it works. I think that's pretty good to, yeah, demonstrate how it actually does work. Frequently asked questions is also great. If you have a problem solving product, having frequently asked questions that you take from Amazon. So you just read what are the frequently asked questions, copy and paste it over. That will dramatically improve your conversion rate because you're handling objections. And that's one of the major ideas with your product page. You try to handle objections and convince people that they need this product. Then they got their little team thing here, which I don't think is necessary. So I would have cut out this section. I would, again, though, like to see more social proof. So you don't just need to have social proof in the review section. You can have it, again, in the above the fold section. You could have it right here with having a social proof, just a review. You can have social proof of over 10,000 people. That's going to be much more effective than the team. But these reviews, pretty detailed. Look at this. Good images, great detailed. Loved it for my boyfriend. This is what you want your review section to look like. And you can just easily move over 40 to 50 reviews, and man, oh man, does it make a big difference. So just to summarize so far, if you have high link clicks but low add to carts and low sales, usually it's going to be one of a few things. One, your images are pretty basic. You only have stock photos, or maybe your photos just aren't good enough in general, or you might not have a great offer. You need to start split testing a little more with testing out different prices or different offer structures like a BOGO deal or buy one, get two, or maybe doing 40% off compared to 60% off. Or maybe you don't have enough social proof. Like in this website right here, you can see the social proof is right there above the fold. We scroll on down, we got success stories. So more social proof that the product works. Keep on scrolling down, and then we're going to get into a review section that has more social proof of people describing that the product works. So you should add social proof at the top, at the middle, at the bottom with your reviews. It doesn't just mean your review section is where all the social proof is. Now, another reason why people won't buy from your store is you have very little branding, meaning your logo is something you copy and paste off of Canva. It doesn't look super brandable. You don't have a main color scheme of black, white, and then a third color. Maybe you have black, white. Okay, in this one we have red, we have green, we got yellow, we got a bunch of different things going on, and you have to be consistent with your color scheme to stay branded. So when I look at this website, they go with black, white, and then they got this teal and then pink. So we got teal, pink, black. They do not have any other colors, and it makes it all work together. Because when they have different sections, they can break it up by having the background be teal sometimes, and then the background be white sometimes. And that's how you want to implement your color scheme. Your section shouldn't always be white, 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 because it doesn't draw your eyes to the different sections. It doesn't really break it down for why people should buy. So you definitely want to split test having a much more branded color scheme. And obviously the final part about branding is just having a good product name. So Smile Cushion Slides, again, I would say that's pretty generic. So Smile Slides could have been a better name. You know, people love alliteration, Best Buy, Dunkin' Donuts. And again, you can just go to a generator like businessnamegenerator.com or Namelix. You put in the major keywords and you'll get a ton of ideas. So there's literally no excuse in 2023 to have a generic keyword product name. So now let's check out two different websites for the same product with a heated jacket. These have been selling incredibly well during winter time. And obviously, you know, that time is sort of ending. But as of right now, let's compare these two product pages and you tell me which one you like better. So on this one, your new favorite jacket, nobody likes being cold, blah, 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 blah. Copywriting wise, it's nothing too crazy. Graphics, nothing too crazy. About 7 very detailed reviews, but no photos. So we got that version. And then we got this one right here where I will admit the variants don't look great. Price doesn't look great. Literally the most generic product name ever, premium heated jacket. And then we scroll on down. It's not much here. So I would say easily, unless you're a contrarian, you think you're some sort of rebel that's going to break the system, you're going to choose this one right here. It is much more detailed, but what would I do to improve these product pages if they had conversion rate issues? Well, I would say the one thing we really haven't talked about yet is copywriting. Now, with your copywriting, you have to have the framework of WIFM. What is in it for me? Every single line that you write needs to have some sort of benefit that can be applied to the people that are going to potentially buy your product. So when I go through this, your new favorite jacket, okay, that's somewhat of a benefit. It's not the worst. Nobody likes being cold. Stay warm with our USB heated jacket, guaranteed to be your new favorite jacket. This is very redundant, not the best copywriting. Warning, after you wear your heated jacket once, you'll never be able to go without it. Again, I mean, that's kind of cheesy in my eyes. Now, heating up within seconds warms you up unlike other jackets, has a USB plug. Okay, again, this is another thing where you can easily have a graphic with different icons where it can just say, charges your phone, it can heat up within seconds, looks and feels amazing, and unisex design, I don't know if that's super important. I would probably say something about the material being great, but that's what I mean when you're trying to really elevate your product pages and make them stand out. You have to have good graphics. And another thing they could have done was comparing normal jackets, like a North Face jacket that people will potentially buy as an alternative to yours, and then you can see, okay, why should you buy this heated jacket versus all those other options? And you can list them out that, hey, this has 3 different heating modes, this has much better material, that it charges your phone, and it's incredibly affordable. And having graphics like that where you compare your version, your product versus competitors' products is always the best way of really emphasizing why you should buy this product compared to somebody else's in the mind of your customer. And at the end of the day, that is the mindset you need to have. Why should someone buy your product compared to all the other alternatives out there? And are you also mentioning the problem that people have to begin with? Like, why should people buy a heated jacket versus a normal one? Is it because, okay, normal jackets just don't get you cold, they don't look good, they are missing some sort of problem? Does this mention any real problem? I would say no, they don't. It just warms you up. They just go into benefits. But if I'm buying a problem-solving product, I need to know what the problem is. So that's really got to be the mindset when you're doing your copywriting with them. So always writing with benefits. Don't just mention features, have benefits. And then why should people buy this product compared to all of the other options out there on the market? That is the most important thing that you have to convince someone of. And you have to convince them that they have a problem to begin with, which is why they would buy your product to solve that problem. And one of my Discord students wanted me to review their website. And after they sent it, they had this exact problem. And again, if you want free website reviews, join the Discord, link in bio. But when I reviewed their website, they had these shorts that they were selling that are great for skiers and protecting yourself, but they never mentioned that problem, and they don't aggravate the problem either of, hey, never worry about falling again. Is that really the biggest issue? Did these prevent you from falling? No, but they prevent you from getting hurt, hurting your spine, hurting your hips. That's the major thing that they should have talked about immediately. You don't just get into benefits, you have to talk about the problem. So for me, if I was selling this, I might come up with a specific scenario that really illustrates in the mind of my customer why they have a problem. So I might say, imagine you're skiing and having a great day with your family, but all of a sudden you take a major fall and your hip dislocates and you have to go to the hospital. It absolutely ruins your trip. It costs you thousands of dollars in hospital bills. And imagine if you had something that cost $60 that could have prevented this from ever happening in the first place. And again, that's really long, but that's the idea. You have to talk about the problem. And this person never did. It's like, why should I buy these shorts? Oh, because they're cool. Yeah, they might protect me. Those are decent reasons, but I'm not going to pay $60 just to protect myself. But I will pay $60 to prevent myself from going to the hospital and having hip damage and having bone damage and just having the comfort of being able to ski without worrying about myself getting injured. That is what I will pay for. So when I look at this graphic, this is the right idea of you want to compare your product versus others. Thick premium material. Is that why I'm buying these? No. Is it military grade protector pads? Yeah, I would say that's important. Quick dry technology? Probably not. Lightweight? Probably not either. I mean, I think that's a nice benefit. Maybe other ones aren't as breathable. And with these, you don't even feel them when you wear them, but they still protect you. Now, I'd say if you're suffering from add to carts but low sales, the number one reason why is because you don't have urgency. You're not giving people a reason to buy today. And when you look at the biggest brands, they will always have some type of sale where they have the pretext of, hey, 70% off sale will end soon. It will end this week. It will end today. Or 70% off sale, get yours now before we run out of stock. So those are the two major ways that you can create urgency by saying, hey, we're running out of stock. So maybe you'll have a little inventory banner that says, hey, we only have 5 remaining in stock. And this is something that Amazon uses, the #1 e-commerce platform. So they know the power of having low inventory and making people make a decision today. Then also you might want to say, hey, this 50% off discount is not going to be here forever. I mean, in this case, this is like a 90% off discount, but is it really believable that this is normally selling for $250? Not even close. So with your compare at price, try to make it somewhat reasonable. But yes, you can say, hey, this sale is going to end soon, that it will end this week. That is another way. And maybe you'll even have a countdown timer under your add to cart that says, hey, 3 hours left before this ends. And the final thing you can do if you're having high traffic but low sales is you have to be split testing. I have a whole video dedicated to how to use Google Optimize to split test different landing pages. And if you want to be the best, if you want to make 6 figures in 2023 with dropshipping, you have to be split testing. And that's split testing your offer. And you don't just do that by, okay, let me change the offer on the main page and then I'll compare that versus what happened in the past. No, you should have 2 different product pages, one with a BOGO offer versus one with a 50% off offer. And then you have 50% of your traffic go to one landing page and then 50% go to the other. And if you feel like your offer is pretty dialed in, then you might have 2 different product pages that split test something else. It could be changing your add to cart color from green to red, or changing the text from add to cart to buy now, or it might be changing changing up the images. That first image is so important. So maybe instead of having a generic kind of stocky product photo, you have it as a UGC photo. And then you might also split test the structure, the different sections of your landing page. So instead of just having a straight up description with just a lot of text, maybe you split test on the second landing page, having more graphics and having sections that are laid out in a coherent order where you have your social proof, you have why you should buy us versus others. And again, if you're wondering about all the different ways you can customize your product page, I have a whole video dedicated to that, from home pages to product pages to your checkout page, exactly all the different things you can do to sell your product. And you can easily do these split tests by using Google Optimize, which I have a full tutorial for that is super easy to use. And if you're not using it for dropshipping in 2023, then you are behind, my friend. Now, if you're still having add to cart issues with low sales, then I would say you should customize your cart and checkout page. So with your cart page, you can use apps like Upcart, Upsell that replace your normal themes cart page, and you can have a much more customizable professional cart page like this one right here, where it says, hey, you're only a certain amount away from free shipping. Maybe you'll have this automatically default to, hey, you've unlocked free shipping, so that people feel the need to shop now and buy that product. You can also do upsell, shipping protection to make some more money, but this is just much more concise and easier than the typical Shopify checkout, where honestly the button is all the way down here and you have all this empty space for literally no reason. And then with your checkout page, it's really essential that you obviously have your logo, and maybe you have that centered, or you have your logo to the left, and then to the right you have some trust badges. I know we've mentioned that a little bit in the past if you haven't been paying attention and living under a rock. And then when it comes to the contact information, try to ask for the least amount of things, have address auto completion, and then always have free shipping, for the love of God, unless you want to be left in the dust. And I would say if you're having high traffic but low sales, there is a chance it might not be your website's fault, and it's actually the people you're advertising to. Because the reality is, when you're selling something on TikTok or Facebook, it takes time for those platforms to optimize and find your ideal audience, especially when you're targeting broad, which is literally every single person on TikTok or Facebook. And it does take a few days for these platforms to optimize and find the pockets of space where you will get the greatest return. And if you're expecting after one day of testing a product that you'll find your right audience, then yeah, I mean, that's incredibly unrealistic. So it might just be that you have to give your ads time. And I know for me, whenever I test a product, I like to give it at least 2 days, and then I'll look at the data, and then I will usually test the product again after seeing what the data has told me. So maybe I'll narrow it down the next time I test the product to a certain age demographic or a certain location. Because if you're testing a bunch of different locations and you only give it 1 day, then yeah, you might only have $5 spent in the UK and $10 spent in the US, which is not a lot to determine whether your product is a winner or which locations you should narrow down into. So a lot of times you have to give it time, but there is a chance that what you've chosen initially is just not the right traffic source. So if you've chosen certain interests, maybe those weren't the right interests, and you have to split test, testing out different interests on the next time you test that same product. I would never give up on a product after the first test, because there's so many different variables and things that can go wrong, and you have to have everything optimized if you're going to scale. Your traffic has to be perfect, your offer has to be perfect, your landing page, everything has to be dialed in. And if one thing is off, then yeah, there's going to be some things that you have to fix, and that's a part of the game. So I would say never expect everything to be perfect when you test a product, but you have to be someone that is able to adjust and then give a product a second or third chance.